community perceptions of biometrics. The majority of these findings has come from Suzanne's Master's by Research in the Department of Criminology at the University of Melbourne. Suzanne is a criminologist with extensive practical experience in the Australian criminal justice system spanning 20 years. She has been a member of the Victoria Police and the Australian Federal Police. She has specialised training in biometrics, criminal profiling and identity fraud, and is currently engaged on an AUSTRAC-sponsored PhD researching identity fraud crime control policy at the University of South Australia. Suzanne consults with public and private sector organisations, including the Department of Transport and Regional Services and the Department of Immigration and Multicultural Affairs. Welcome, Suzanne.
Good morning, everybody. I hope you're enjoying this evening so far. I'm sure you are. Just a quick overview, has already been said. I'm doing my PhD at the moment through the University of South Australia, and I'm looking at identity fraud, displacement effects and diffusion of benefits, which has been touched on this morning by Chris. It's interesting to hear about displacement of solutions in crime in terms of identity fraud and solutions. This actual project is based on my master's thesis that I completed at the University of Melbourne last year. So it does have a theoretical basis and methodology which some of you may be interested in, particularly the students. As most people know, postgraduate research is primarily based on methodology and previous research. So this applies an older theory to look at the community's perception of biometric technology to see if we can elude what those issues are and how people in the community actually feel about biometrics and coming into play in the community as a solution, perhaps to identity fraud. And I guess that sort of came about by the fact that when I was speaking to a lot of my close friends about biometrics and identity fraud, most of them said, well, what's biometrics? And of course there's biometrics in the area of science and plant technology and that sort of area. And you know, there is some confusion, and most people of course associate it with the movies, James Bond, you know, all that taking out the eyeball, all those sorts of issues, the scary things that are actually misconceptions, or some of them are, I guess, about what biometrics really is. So just going back to the initial process of human identification, looking at how that's changed over the years, it really has moved from a social context where we all know each other in our family. We look at peculiarities such as our voice, or hear our difference in voices, look at each other and recognise those differences between our friends and the people we don't know. It has basically moved towards a more complex process, which has stemmed from an economic requirement. The transfer of information and goods, those wonderful word globalisation, terrorism of course, identity-related crimes, and of course the convergence of computing communication technologies. And as was alluded to in the last speaker, I think the technologies are far more advanced and way ahead of the actual policy and the requirements of those technologies. And this is the problem, especially implementing biometrics in larger organisations. It's driven very much by vendors and that new technology that's out there. But do we actually need that technology? And I think that's one of the main things that needs to be identified within an organisation that's considering implementing biometrics, or the government for that. Do we actually need it? Can that level of authentication perhaps be enhanced and provided by some other more simple means? So, you know, risk assessment, how can we mitigate the risk of identity fraud, how can we increase the level of authentication in other ways, perhaps before we even look at introducing biometrics or identity cards. And at the moment, of course, we're being driven by a whole of government approach. Anybody that works in the area of government will appreciate that term, or WOG as it's abbreviated. Whole of government approach is very strong at the moment, trying to tie in authentication mechanisms across the wider area of policy. And the Australian government states that it does intend to keep pace with the application of biometrics to improve border protection, combat identity fraud, address passenger volumes and meet international obligations. And as mentioned just in the last speaker, while we do have a drive within the community, I think the international pressure to conform to biometric implementation is very strong. For example, the e-passport, but the international pressure there is very intense at the moment. So when I started to look at biometrics and how people felt about biometrics and how they perceive the technology, it became evident that the level of knowledge in the community was very low, and I thought, well, how am I going to find out how people perceive the technology and what are their perceptions about it? So I looked at Everett Rogers' diffusion of innovation theory, which I'll come back to in a moment. But there are very many threats that can influence the adoption of biometrics into the community. There are, apart from the perceptions that people form about the technology, there are other threats that can influence whether it's adopted or rejected. And some of those I'll just go over briefly here. We have technical threats, of course, which are software and hardware related issues. The ability of the system to perhaps deal with physiological rate of change of people as they grow older. Biometrics technology will need to have the capacity to re-enroll people and keep up with physical changes. Does the technology have the ability to actually differentiate between gender? Ethnicity is another issue to be considered. Social issues around these points include, can it differentiate between different ethnic groups? It may not be able to do that now, perhaps because it doesn't have enough statistical information, but in the future that may be a profiling tool that biometric technology could be used for. So there are many other issues. There are concerns about the direct and indirect medical implications of biometrics. Can it actually tell more about a person or medical information about a person? And of course the other issue is there some sort of physical injury that the biometrics might actually do to our bodies? Is it going to harm us? And these are sorts of issues that many people want answers for. Some of the human threats, of course, we've got unauthorised users, accidental and deliberate misuse of biometric systems. Some of the physical threats are quite obvious. Natural disasters, storms and water, humidity and dust, which these threats are technically based, but some of them are actually human-based issues that, I guess, turn it around the other way, they need to be technically addressed. Some theoretical threats, going back to the technical side, algorithm vulnerability, enrolment threats, physical and technical threats, circumvention, spoofing. As we know, once a new technology is implemented, the first thing that happens is somebody tries to break the system. So testing for vulnerability in that area is a very important issue, and one that's just developing, not quite caught up to the technology yet. And of of course, we've got many other issues such as standards, data management, that's a big issue. Who is going to have access to the data? How's it going to be managed? Is it going to be stored securely? The list goes on and on. And of course, interoperability with other systems. If immigration, for example, will build a system, can it interoperate with other systems, perhaps the Australian Crime Commission, etc. They're doing an identity protection register, etc. Can all those systems interoperate? To what extent? Can they share information? So the aim of this actual project, as I said before, was to look at the community's perceptions of biometrics and try to work out how people form their perceptions about biometrics and what are the issues that are most important in people's minds. And everybody will have a different perception about biometrics, and the way people form their perceptions, if you just think about yourself, it will help you. But everybody has different experiences. They were born at a different time. They've had exposure to perhaps the Australia card, etc. So these perceptions are going to change over time. They're going to be influenced by all sorts of things that you come across in your day-to-day life. So how do we account for all those different perceptions and implement a system that makes everybody feel comfortable about biometrics? I'm not quite sure, but anyway, these are the sorts of issues that they should be considering. So Roger's theory is actually quite old theory that doesn't relate to biometrics. It relates to the diffusion of innovation. It can be any innovation. It's even been applied to a new type of corn seed that was introduced years and years ago, late 1940s. So it centres on the conditions which might increase or decrease the likelihood that a new idea, biometrics, product or practice using fingerprint technology, how that's going to be adopted in the community and how we can change that adoption or rejection of that technology. So diffusion theory states that adoption will be influenced by many different receiver variables, social and personal characteristics, these are just examples, and perceived need for the innovation. It should, the theory states that it should have a relative advantage, it should be compatible. How complex is it? Can people try it? Can they see it working? And these, as I said, these perceptions are going to change over time as they have the chance to actually interact with all these different issues. And of course, who's going to communicate the advantages or disadvantages of the technology, and who are going to be the opinion leaders in the community that perhaps push the acceptance or the rejection of the technology. And the Australia Card debate is an excellent topic. It perhaps was just going to roll along for quite a while there until the privacy people came on board and the public interest advocates. So it just gives you an idea how communication can make a big difference. So to make it a little bit easier, looking at biometrics and how people in my focus groups perceive the technology, I broke it down into personal characteristics and perhaps social issues that may influence their perception of biometrics. So what are some of the personality characteristics that might influence how people feel about biometrics? And you can relate this again to yourself, or you can perhaps look at an airport situation where you've got people coming in to use the new smart gate system with their biometric passport under the reader. What sort of things might be happening in that person's mind or in the environment that's actually going to influence their interaction with the device, and whether they go away and say, take that biometrics, love it, you know, what have you. So these are some of the sorts of issues. They may be suffering from phobias. They may be affected by drugs or alcohol. They may be travelling, for example, let's take the airport They may be travelling because they're going on a holiday, so they're going to feel happy and think it's quite a nice idea to come up and try new technology. We've got a bit of time, and this will be great. It'll make travelling a bit quicker, hopefully. Or they might be there because they've had a fight with somebody and they're leaving, they're very distressed, they're distraught. They're going to visit somebody that's passed away. They may be forced to travel for some reason. It's going to make them feel agitated and just not wanting to interact with something new. We can probably all relate this to any new technology that we've been confronted with. You go to do the usual process and it's changed. It can be frustrating. Psychological status, I've probably already gone over that. That can also include the person's age. Do they have the ability to interact with the biometric system and understand how it works? Can they see the advantages, or are they just being confronted with, I can't understand this, I can't read the signs properly? So psychological dysfunction as well as the physiological status is very important. Spelling mistake. They may be suffering from anxiety disorder where they can't actually interact with the technology. And as I said, their age, they may be young, they may be old, they may not be able to read. Quickly go through these. Some of the social issues, of course, privacy, they're going to be worried about privacy. They're going to be worried about function creep. They're going to perhaps be influenced by their religious statuses that make them interact with the technology in a different way. Their socio-economic status, their education, their ability to use the system. Is it convenient? Does it offer a reward? Is it intuitive? Is there good signage that tells me how to use it? Have they been perhaps a victim of identity fraud? Great, they love the system, anything that makes it safer for me. And I think that's a good idea because I just found out the weekend I've become a victim, which I can tell you all about on the coffee break if you like. So we've got physical issues. Are they in a wheelchair? Do they have laryngitis? Are they suffering from an injury? Do they have an eye patch on where they can't interact with perhaps iris recognition? We've got environmental issues. The climate, do they wear gloves? Do they have clothing on that makes it hard for them to interact with the technology? They have to take their gloves off. They carry passes, so they can't use fingerprint recognition. All these are sorts of issues that are going to influence their perceptions. Social impact, they're going to feel intimidated. And if they've had previous technology experience, that is a big influence about how they perceive the technology. If you're used to using computers and iPods, etc., it's great. If you're not, if you're going to be a little bit wary about this new technology. So we can see from that there are many personal, social and experiential characteristics that are going to influence the way people see the technology. So within the group, what did we find out from the actual research itself? Many people in the community are overwhelmed by the use of multiple pins and passwords. We can all relate to that, I'm sure. They have a very poor knowledge and understanding about biometrics. They have misconceptions about biometrics. They're concerned about health and safety, but they acknowledge that that's driven by the fact that they don't know much about biometrics. They would like more open debate. They want more information about biometrics. It's all very well to introduce a policy, but if people don't accept it, they won't use it, and it will be rejected. The majority are prepared to forego some types of issues if it's going to give them a more secure authentication mechanism. They want fallback mechanisms. If they don't want to use it, opt in, opt out, voluntary, mandatory, lots of issues there. Primary concerns, results out of the focus group related to data sharing, who has access to my information, how do I control my information, do I have the right to view the information, delete it, who's going to delete it, who's going to disclose it, the rules around data sharing, data security and privacy issues. the main points identified in this research. Just to close off, coming back to the topic of our workshop here today. So what are some of the social implications of introducing biometrics as a possible solution to identity fraud, for example? And these are just food for thought, and they're actually leading into my PhD project. So is it going to make our society less trusting? Is it going to create alternative behaviours? Is it going to shift the crimes, which is crime displacement? Are offenders going to move to some area? They're going to find the weaker link in the system. Diffusion of benefits. Well, we may introduce biometrics and find that the benefits get diffused into many other areas. So we need to understand how the introduction of new technologies are going to be accepted and diffused within the community. If they're not accepted, and if the community aren't consulted, it'll just be rejected. That's it.